Life doesn't usually become difficult overnight. It becomes heavy gradually. So gradually, in fact, that many people don't notice when the shift begins. At first, it feels like ordinary stress. Too many responsibilities, too many decisions, too many things demanding attention. But often there's something deeper happening beneath the surface. A quiet habit that slowly turns everyday life into mental weight. And that habit is constant thinking. Thinking itself is not the problem. Thinking helps us solve problems, plan the future, and understand the world. But modern life has quietly turned thinking into a permanent background activity. The mind rarely stops. Conversations replay long after they've ended. Possible outcomes are imagined repeatedly. Small decisions are analyzed far longer than necessary. At first, this feels responsible. It feels like preparation. It feels like control. But over time, constant mental engagement slowly drains energy. The human brain was never designed to operate in a constant state of analysis. It needs pauses. It needs moments where nothing is being evaluated or solved. But those pauses are disappearing. Instead of quiet moments, people reach for their phones. Instead of reflection, there is endless stimulation. Instead of rest, there is continuous information. The result is a mind that never truly powers down. When the mind never rests, everything begins to feel heavier than it should. Small decisions feel complicated. Simple tasks feel draining. Even enjoyable activities can begin to feel like obligations. This isn't because life suddenly became harder, it's because the brain is running without recovery. Mental exhaustion changes how the world feels. One of the most interesting things about this habit is how invisible it is. Most people assume exhaustion is simply part of adult life. They accept it. They normalize it. They assume everyone feels this way. But constant mental strain is not a requirement of life. It's often the result of habits we've slowly adopted. Another hidden effect of constant thinking is how it changes perception. When the mind is tired, problems appear larger than they are. Challenges feel more intimidating. Uncertainty feels more threatening. A rested mind sees possibilities. An exhausted mind sees obstacles. This is why mental fatigue can quietly influence confidence and decision-making. Constant thinking also steals something subtle but important: presence. When the mind is always somewhere else, replaying the past or rehearsing the future, the present moment becomes background noise. Days become something to manage rather than something to experience. You may still accomplish tasks, but the sense of being truly present begins to fade. So what changes this pattern? Not forcing yourself to think less. That rarely works. The shift begins with recognizing that not every thought deserves attention. Thoughts appear constantly, but attention is a choice. Allowing some thoughts to pass without engagement creates space, and in that space, mental energy slowly returns. Silence is often uncomfortable at first. A quiet moment may feel strange when the mind is used to constant activity. But those quiet moments are exactly where clarity begins to rebuild. Over time, the mind remembers how to rest. And when it does, something interesting happens. Life doesn't necessarily become easier, but it stops feeling unnecessarily heavy. This episode is part of the Invisible Habits series, exploring the quiet patterns that shape life without most people noticing. If this reflection resonated with you, consider subscribing to more episodes in this series. And in the comments, share whether you've ever noticed how constant thinking affects your energy. Awareness is often the first step toward reclaiming mental clarity. Thank you for watching and see you in the next.